It is a beautiful day. Summer's finally here. We can feel the momentum in the air. Let me do a couple of things here. First of all, let me acknowledge that our good friends, the Westchester Democratic Committee, has their brunch almost at the same time. So we have a whole bunch of folks who are going to be leaving here and heading south. We should have rented a party bus, but so that's why we're breaking up the program a little bit. But I wanted to just first of all acknowledge a couple of really important people, really a lot of important people, so bear with me. First of all, this party is what it is, the growing, thriving party because of our district leaders and because of our chairs. So let me start off acknowledging our party chairs. If I could have our town chairs stand up, and I'll acknowledge them. Kathy Croft is our Southeast town chair and our Board of Elections commissioner. Kathy's over here. Shelley Gilbert and Grace Kennedy, our Phillipstown town chairs. Tom Pendleton at the door, our Putnam Valley chair. Stacy Dumont is not here, but our Patterson town chair. Applause for Stacy. And Marsha Waldman is our Carmel town chair, also not here, but much appreciated. Ava, I know I saw Ava Sanold, I don't know if Anna's here, from Kent. And our vice chairs, Kathy Kahn, Ryan Beckwith, and Karen Freed, round out the party. And I just want to acknowledge that Janice Hogan is here. She's our secretary. She's going to be moving away, so she's our outgoing secretary, but she's had a huge contribution. So thank you, Janice. All right, and our elected officials, George Latimer, who just left, Congressman Latimer, was our surprise guest. So thank you, George. Pete, I don't know if Pete's here, but I know I saw Victoria. Pete Harcum is up here. There we go. Hey, Vic. Thank you for being here. And Dana Levenberg also sent her regrets. She ended up having to go to a wake, so she's not here, but she is with us in spirit. We have Kathleen Foley, the mayor of the village of Cold Spring. Chris Winward, the mayor of Nelsonville. Allison Joliker, the supervisor of Putnam Valley. Let's see, Sherry Howard from the Putnam Valley Town Board. And Gwen Doherty, the Town of Patterson councilwoman. I like saying that, Gwen. I'm looking around to see who I missed. Let me give Judy Farrell from the Phillipstown Town Board. Thank you, Judy. And Nat Prentice. I was going to say, is he still here? Yeah, Judy and Nat from Phillipstown Town Board. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, I'm going to get to our candidates, some of whom are also elected officials, so I'll do double duty. But I want to give a shout out to our friends in labor, Maurice from SCIU 1199. Thank you for being here. And the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 137, also supported our event. We appreciate their support. All right, and now candidates, and I know the intros are going to take a while, but this is why we do this work, right? So first of all, we have three candidates for the State Supreme Court. The Honorable Judge George Fufidio is here. The Honorable Maria Rosa, who's over here. And Legislator Alden Wolf is our third candidate for Supreme Court. Thank you for being here and for your support of this event. And we have Cait Conley for Congress. And Effie Phillips Staley, also running for Congress. Effie, thank you for being here. We have two of our Senate 39 district candidates, Lisa Call, who's also a Dutchess County legislator and elected official, and Evan Menace, Poughkeepsie Town. Evan's here. Excellent. New York State Assembly candidate Daniel Guzman. Where's Daniel? There he is. Kent Town Supervisor candidate Alex Sewell. Doing double duty as dad, as always. Thank you for doing that. Putnam Valley Town Justice candidate David Axon. David? We have our 3 county legislator candidates. So I'm going to read their names and then give them all a round of applause. Maya Gillio from Putnam Valley. Gwen Burke from Carmel, and Kathy Kahn from Kent. And then last but not least, our countywide candidates, Michael Strauss, candidate for coroner of Putnam County. Redefining what it means to be a coroner. And last but not least, Brett Yarris, county executive, the next county executive from Putnam County. All right, so let me just say a few words, and then I know the Attorney General has to get on the road, so I don't want to, I'll save part of my remarks for later. Last year at our post-election brunch, when we gathered in Carmel, we put actually on a slide, we put it on the wall that Putnam is possible. And in politics and evidently in business, especially in the world of AI, if you say things often enough, they become truth. So we are continuing to say that. Brett has taken that on as his moniker for his campaign, that Putnam is possible. And what I meant by that was that this is an opening, this is a runway, this is an on-ramp to Putnam being better represented, better heard, better governed, better respected in the area. And all of that momentum that we felt and continue to feel is continuing to surge and move us forward. So we've had successes, we don't win them all. The fact that we win more than we lose in Putnam is like a really big deal, so thank you all for that. But we felt it. We felt it in last year's elections. We felt it when we're out there knocking doors. We feel that something is shifting. We feel that rumble out there, that distant feeling, or sometimes maybe when the speaker makes us feel it, but we felt that something was coming, this big blue wave, this immovable force. We know it's happening nationwide. It has to happen. We have no choice. And so that is what brings us here today. So I want to just start by saying thank you all. You are all part of this blue wave. Without all of you, and I will also say I don't even know everybody in this room, which is awesome because that means there's new people coming to help us generate this blue wave. And so that is why we're here, and that's what we are. That's what we're fundraising to do, is to continue to translate that feeling into action, to translate that energy and desire into boots on the ground, into mail going into voters' hands, into changing hearts and minds across Putnam. So thank you. Thank you to the team. Thank you to everybody. So let's go. Let me introduce, as you could tell by the applause when she walked in, she really doesn't need an introduction, but I will just say a few words anyway. Letitia James is the 67th Attorney General for the state of New York. She was elected in 2018 as the first woman of color to hold statewide office in New York and the first woman to be elected Attorney General. She was previously the public advocate for the city of New York. And in her role as Attorney General, she's focused on the things that matter for people, lowering costs for working families, ensuring that bad actors that break state laws are held accountable. Bad actors that break federal laws are also held accountable. She continues to be an advocate for our health, our safety, our welfare, for every family, every consumer, every worker in the state of New York. She's secured billions of dollars from individuals and corporations who have taken advantage of New Yorkers. She's led multi-state coalitions. She's a national leader to challenge unlawful federal actions that have threatened not only New Yorkers, but Americans overall. She's a champion for her community, she's a champion for us, and she's up for election. So in addition to all the other fabulous people who stood up, she is also a candidate to make sure that we're voting and supporting to send her back exactly where she belongs. And just as a final note, Brett Yarris and I were at the Democratic World Conference a couple weeks ago, and he heard the Attorney General speak for the first time, and he just whipped his head around and looked at me. He said, "I'm ready to charge through walls for that woman." So you know what? Let's charge through walls together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. So Jen's comments can basically be summed up in the following sentence, and that is, democracy is not a noun, it is a verb. Let me say that again. Democracy is not a noun, it is a verb, and it requires all of us. As we were driving up here, not too far from here, a road right up the way, there was a young lady by herself putting up signs, just by herself. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And I've been just thinking about the fact that we are about to approach upon our 250th anniversary of the birth of this nation. A historic moment, but a moment that all of us should really reflect on the amazing ideals of this nation. Beginning with the words in the Constitution, we the people. We the people. That power is vested in all of us, and not in the hands of a few, but in each and every one of us. And so it's up to us to defend and protect this fragile democracy. It's up to us to understand what is at stake. It is up to us to recognize that in this Constitution, which lays out our rights and our privileges, that we've got to protect it. And therefore, democracy cannot be a noun but a verb. And so we've got to get out there and make sure that we elect all of these candidates. Well, some of them are at odds with one another, but we should make sure that, what was the phrase, we can win, what is it, Putnam? Putnam's possible. And so we've got to make that a reality as we approach the primaries and then the general, because we are facing some challenging times. I'm sure you all heard that Senator Cassidy lost his primary yesterday in Louisiana. We also saw what happened in Indiana, where individuals who opposed this president, they lost their seats. And so it's really critically important that we talk about the issues that individuals care about, and that we do it here at this wonderful organization, so we can focus, obviously, on issues that not only New Yorkers, but Americans care about. Yes, I have organized all of the Democratic AGs across this nation because I just thought that we were more powerful when we worked together as opposed to individually. And previous attorneys general from the great state of New York just didn't participate in some of these organizations. And so I walked into the room, they said, New York is here. New York has never been here for a number of years. And given the fact that New York and California are the most well-resourced offices, we decided to join forces and join with other states, smaller states, and allow them to step up, and allow them to litigate, and allow them to make sure that they are in the forefront of a lot of the issues that we are being confronted with. And right now I know that here in Putnam County, New Yorkers care about, residents here care about safety. And as an elected official, and those who are elected officials in this room, we need to make sure that we provide services and make sure that law enforcement has all of the tools that they need to keep us all safe. And I know that we can all agree upon that. We also want a government that actually stands up for New Yorkers, particularly when powerful interests really want to tip the scales. And it's really critically important that we represent the interests of people who elected us and not individuals who basically want to fill your campaign coffers. Now, I may step on some toes there, but that's okay. I have a habit of doing that. Because we've got to protect families, not only here in Putnam County, but all across the state and all across this nation. We need to stand up and use the law and our voices and our ability to organize and to sustain this democracy, protecting families at a time when people are feeling vulnerable, protecting families at a time when people are losing hope, and letting them know that hope is near, and it's important that they have elected officials that they can believe in, elected officials that are authentic. And so we've got to protect them from illegal guns and gun violence, rampant gun violence. You know, there's nothing worse than attending a funeral of a 6-month-old baby who was shot. A 6-month-old baby who was in a casket which was so small she didn't really need any pallbearers. A 6-month-old baby who was out on a stroll with her parents and was shot as a result of gun violence. We need to hold these violent offenders accountable, and we need to make sure that we send a strong message that gun violence will not be tolerated, not only in New York City, but anywhere in the state of New York. But we need to make sure that we remove illegal guns off of the streets of New York State. And as the Attorney General of the state of New York, I am proud to say that as of today, I've removed over 8,000 illegal guns off of the streets of New York. We need to stand up for seniors who are being targeted by schemes, all of these scams. Some of them are romance scams, okay? Don't shake your head, And a lot of the, seniors are lonely, and so they go online, and oftentimes they are victims of these scams. And a lot of the individuals who engage in these scams are foreign interest. And I have, visited a number of towns in New York, and I had some forums, and seniors were just too afraid to approach an elected official and let them know their experience. But they whispered in my ear, they were like, "Tish, I've lost thousands. I thought he loved me." In addition to that, there's scams involving cryptocurrency. There's scams involving deed theft. There's scam involving seniors who unfortunately are relying upon meager savings and they've lost it all. And so I and whoever is the next Congress member in this district, the next individual to lead this wonderful county, all of the county executives, we need to do more to protect seniors, working with organizations such as AARP and other organizations, because they are vulnerable and marginalized, and we need to protect them from these online fraudsters. And I would hope that you would work with me on that. I held a forum just 2 weeks ago with individuals who live in mobile homes, these manufactured homes all throughout the state of New York, and no one had addressed their issues. One state assembly member, but that was it. And these manufactured homes are not covered under any particular state statute. And so a lot of them are living in conditions which, are issues of habitability. They had sepsis, they had running water in their homes. The conditions were horrific, and there were thousands of them. And so these are individuals who, most of them voted red because no one had reached out to them. They didn't believe in politics at all. And so I decided to convene a town hall, and hundreds came. And they said, "We've never ever met a statewide elected official. And no one has really addressed our issues but you." And so I brought the whole of government. I brought all of the state agencies. I brought all of the local agencies. And I said, we've got to address the issues of mobile homes, people who are losing their homes that are owned by others who are taking advantage of them. Children who unfortunately are being subjected to all these horrific conditions which threaten their health and their safety. So I called on a number of state elected officials and said, we need to do more for individuals living in mobile homes. And if we don't, then I'm going to raise this issue more and more and more. Because the issue really is a lot of these individuals who own these mobile homes are donors. And that's why these tenants, these residents, have not gotten any attention at all. Well, that will change. That will definitely change, and we will be holding more meetings with regards to these mobile home owners. In addition to that, corporate misconduct. I need more elected officials who are willing to stand up to these powerful interests and make sure that your voices are heard. I need more elected officials with some spine in their backbone, who are not afraid of the consequences. I need elected officials who are concerned about tenants facing illegal evictions. I need individuals who are concerned about what is happening to immigrants. I need individuals who are concerned about affordability. There is this bill that I am sponsoring, which basically will ban surveillance pricing. What is surveillance pricing? Believe it or not, when you go shopping, either online and in person, you are being surveilled. And what happens is that based upon your shopping habits, that's how they determine the price of a product. And so the price of Pampers may be different for you than it is for me, because you shop for more Pampers than I do. Not today, she said. Okay, well, I'll go over here. But the point is that there's this surveillance pricing in place, pricing for medicine, pricing for food, and other products. And so we have seen this by analyzing. There was an article, I believe, in the New York Times on Instacart, and we wrote a letter to Instacart about surveillance pricing and saying that this is really just a way to increase the cost of food and medicine for families. And so they're examining it, but I went a step further and joined with elected officials in Albany to introduce a bill which would outlaw it. And I'm proud to say that that bill will be passed in the coming days, again, so that we can address the issue of surveillance pricing. We've joined with other state attorneys general in challenging tariffs, illegal tariffs, which focus and have a harmful impact on our farmers. We've also raised and challenged a number of pieces of legislation that have been put forward by Republicans in Congress, which would basically turn back the clock on environmental protections here in Putnam County and all throughout the state of New York. We've challenged these illegal executive orders, which are unconstitutional, do not have the weight of law, but they are imposed upon us on a wide range of issues. They want your voting records. They want your Medicaid records. They want issues with regards to the number of food pantries in the district they want to cut off. They want to cut off educational funding for children with disabilities, children with IEPs. They want to cut off after-school funding. They want to cut off programs that address bullying in schools. And each and every time joining with my Democratic AGs, we go to court, and guess what? We are winning, winning, winning. Those individuals who are running for Congress, we've got to stop the cuts to all of these federal agencies, including but not limited to Veterans Affairs, individuals who fight for our freedom and our liberty, individuals who are on foreign soil today, those 13 individuals who died as a result of this ridiculous war, illegal war. We need to make sure that we protect veterans and protect that agency, restore the staffing, restore the funding, protect veterans, honor veterans, recognize what they've done for our freedom. Let us never forget our veterans. And then lastly, it's my body and my choice. Reproductive rights, because it's between me, my doctor, and my God, and nobody else. There are too many women dying in Louisiana and Mississippi right now who cannot have access to health care, and reproductive rights is health care. And that's all that is. And we've got to continue to stand up for the LGBTQ community and stand up for the rights of all. And most importantly, we've got to stand up for voting rights, because you should not take away my choice to elect an individual. We cannot crack these districts. We've got to make sure that we recognize all of those who died and bled and fought for the right to vote. So let us elect and go out and vote and stand in line in quiet defiance to all that is happening and turn Putnam around.
I would say follow her anywhere, but not out the door. Don't leave. Don't leave, there's more. Whew, sweating just listening to her, that's amazing. One person I forgot to mention is a candidate for Southeast Town Supervisor, Lynn Eckert. Thank you for stepping up and answering the call. And I want to make sure we've had a tremendous number of sponsors that have generously supported this event. Their names are floating by the screen, so acknowledge them, and thank you so much to all of our sponsors. So our next candidate also maybe needs no introduction, but I just want to say, we are truly blessed in this district to have had extraordinary candidates. And we're so grateful. I know Effie's headed out the door, but I just want to say thank you to her for being here and the campaign that she's waging. And the campaign that everybody has been waging. Everybody is truly in it because we know that this district deserves better representation. And every single one of these people has tremendous things to offer. And so we're really grateful to have had the choice. And I'm also really glad to be able to say that the first time I met Cait Conley, I came home and my husband said, "So how was it?" I said, "Holy shit." This is the real deal here. And so, we've had a tremendous process of meeting all the candidates, getting to know them all. And I'm just really proud that when Putnam came to vote, that we voted in vast majority on the first ballot to endorse Cait. And I know that Cait is going to be just the tremendous, certainly already a tremendous candidate. Just wait till July happens after she wins the primary and we can focus all the energy on Mike Lawler. He won't know what hit him. And to hit the ground running, because there's no time to waste. There's no time to waste to fix things in Washington. And I'm confident that she will hit the ground running and make us proud every day. So Cait, thank you for being with us.
I heard there was a pep rally for Putnam is possible. And so look around this room. Look at what we have built. Over years and years of working together, bringing people together, bringing new friends into the fold. I hope everyone in this room takes a moment to recognize what you have been part of and what you have built. When I think about the best parts of who we are as a nation, the state of New York, as a Hudson Valley, I think about how things were here after 9/11. As a junior in high school, And as many of you know who were here, even if you weren't, the world saw. Our communities on that day got rocked. Our state got rocked. Our country got rocked. And in those days, weeks, months, and years to follow, we came together, not as Democrats or Republicans and independents, but as Americans, as neighbors, as members of a community. And I have to tell you, going to West Point, serving for 16 years as an active duty Army officer, leading America's sons and daughters on 6 tours overseas in defense of this nation. When you were there, when you were together, you were part of teams fighting for one another, for this country, because you believed in something bigger than yourself. You believed in an America that was a global force for good, a beacon of ideals, something to aspire to. And that power was unstoppable. And when I think about how we went overseas to fight for the freedoms of our families right here in America, we fought overseas to protect American freedoms. To think how now we are watching as those very freedoms are being ripped away by the government right here at home. There is nothing more un-American than that. This fight that we are taking on, what the Attorney General was talking about, these stakes, sadly, are not even just about our community when we talk about our future. They're for our country, too. They're for the world. What is America? What are the values that we stand by? What define us? This is what is at stake. I often talk about how in a career of public service and national security, fighting for this nation, after everything that I have seen and done, from combat zones to the White House Situation Room, to working in the halls of Congress with members, I never thought I would feel like the greatest threat to our country or our future would come from within our own borders. That is what we are seeing play out now. Whether it is the egregious weaponization of the executive branch that is being turned against political opposition and our neighbors, the egregiousness of watching federal agents on American streets harassing, assaulting, and even killing people here in America, denying due process, which is a right for all per our Constitution. The stakes now and this November could not be higher. And that's why we are here. That's why people who've never come to an event like this today are here. That is why people who've never protested before are on the streets around the country, answering the call. Because the stakes are our future, are our country, are the soul of our nation. Now, I will say, while it may seem dire, and while there are dark times that we are living through, and every time you see the news feed, you cringe a little bit over what could possibly happen next, there is a silver lining to all of this, and that is actually why we are here. And many of you have heard me say this before, but it truly is what fires me up and guides me every day. I used to tell my soldiers that doing the right thing when it is easy is just doing your job. But it is doing the right thing when it is hard, when it comes with sacrifice, maybe even harm and certainly risk. That is courage. We have to remember that in our nation, America, as we celebrate 250 years, those have not been an easy 250 years. We have gone through hard times. We have gone through very dark chapters. We are not a perfect nation. In fact, it is very much the pursuit of forming a more perfect union that makes us so special. but we have gone through hard and dark times. And as a nation, we prevailed. Stronger, better, more free, more fair, more American. Because in those extraordinary moments, ordinary people rose up and chose to live with courage. They chose to fight for America, for our democracy, for our future, because they believed in the values and ideals that we embody, that we were founded on. And when you talk about what we are fighting for today, it is important to remember that over that journey of 250 years, we were not always successful, not on our first try. Some of the hardest things took generations to fix. And I think it is incredibly important to recognize that last year, when you talk about how we have rallied together under the incredible leadership of Jen and this team, what we saw last year, incredible victories, right? Putnam Valley, Allison and CJ. Yes? Patterson with Stacy and Gwen. But I have to say, just as important as those wins were the losses and hard-fought battles, from town board seats to county legislator positions. Success is not measured just in winning. It's in getting out there and fighting like hell. It is getting out there and showing people what we are. Because some of the hardest fights, you don't win on the first try. When it comes to winning a war, there are going to be battles that you lose, and that is okay, as long as you learn from them and make yourself stronger and better and even more effective. And that is what this team has done. Following last November, Putnam County Democrats, you came together and you did an after-action review. You brought the team together and said, what went well, what did we do, and what are we going to do better next year? Because you recognize this fight is not over. We're just getting started. And this year, you have brave people getting back into the arena to fight with everything we've got to win. And this is a battle, when I tell you the fight for New York 17, how we win this, it is about putting all of New York 17 in play. That means Putnam too. It is about winning by more and losing by less in every part of this district. That is how we win it back. And you know what I love so much? Putnam, as you know, we're not a majority Democrat county here. But we still win. And we still see a path to winning. Because what we do here is build coalitions. We bring people together. We show people that what we are fighting for, it's not about right and left, it's about right and wrong. It is about showing people, showing voters, that there are people that they can believe in, beyond even just political parties. That we are community members first, we are neighbors first, we are Americans first. That is how we win. And I have to tell you, Putnam, we are setting the example for America. Because Putnam is a perfect example of what it takes to win this country. It is about bringing people together. And there is no more beautiful a democratic ideal than that. We are proudly the party of the big tent. That means we bring people in. Even if we don't agree on every issue, we know those core values that found us. That is what guides us and unites us, and that is most important. And so when we look at what is it going to take to win Putnam this year, to win New York 17 this year, to win America this year, it is what you all are building right here. It is going out and winning over people, getting them to understand the stakes and that they deserve better. Brett and what he represents as the Putnam County Executive, hope, leadership, character. Those aren't just democratic ideals. Those are the ideals of good government, period, and public service. So the fight we're about to take on, this is a fight that we need all of us to rally around. Because this chapter in American history, this is what is at stake. Who we are as a county, as a state, as a country, when we talk about history and what those and the generations to come will say about our time. This chapter in American history, the ending has not yet been written. Who we are as a country, what our future entails, the values that define us, that is up to us. This is our fight. This is our time to stand up for our nation, for our country, to believe that America is worth fighting for, to answer the call, to recognize that democracy does not defend itself. It is our responsibility, like the generations before us, to make sure their sacrifice was not in vain. It is our time to fight for this country, for our future. This is our watch. We are the cavalry. We are who we've been waiting for. So let's go win.